Welcome to the decluttering experiment.
Two sisters, one project.
Hi, I'm Wendy, the older sister, organized, logical, and passionate about all things involving simplicity and minimalism.
And I'm Jill, the younger sister, unorganized, easily distracted, and overwhelmed. I'm in desperate need of a whole house overhaul.
Can Wendy help Jill declutter her house and reclaim her life?
Keep listening to find out.
Hey, Jill.
Hey, Wendy.
Well, we're back for episode 4.
Out the door.
That's what we're trying to do. Get as much stuff out of your door as possible to start really making progress to create that space and clear that clutter.
Yep.
Well, last week we did the kitchen and the garage, 30 minutes in each. So just as a little follow-up, how is, say, the top of your refrigerator looking? Is it still clean?
Same. Yeah.
Same?
I mean, I did put the pill box bag that I need to take to the pharmacy, the prescription pills that we haven't used. I noticed when I was there a couple weeks back that they have a box or something that you can put them in. I didn't know what to do with them, so I had a bag full.
Well, that's great. You're thinking different ways to get rid of things.
Yeah. Instead, it had been setting just on the main counter, and I just set that up there, but that's only a temporary resting spot until I get it out the door.
Perfect. And then we also took everything out off the front of your refrigerator, i.e. the magnets and papers that were on there. We boxed them up. So how's that looking? Is it still off? And what are your thoughts right now? And even Lloyd?
I mean, when I walk into the kitchen, I always feel like I need to put on a pair of sunglasses. It's very white and glaring in my face. It's nice, but it's also not nice. I'm not used to it like that.
And I even mentioned something to Lloyd because I asked him about it. And he said, I actually like a few pictures there to look at while I'm heating up my
lunch.
Lunch in the microwave.
Yeah, he said he likes to check out Dad's hair and see how it's changed over the years. Yeah. I was excited that he said that because remember when we recorded, I said, oh, Lloyd is going to be thrilled.
Right.
But when it's been covered for so long, it is very glaring to just be, it feels very sterile. And my house is not very sterile. I mean, it's clean, but it's not like, I like a homey house. I like to have things like we have plants everywhere and stuff. I just want a space for everything that we use. I don't want it to be just glaring bright white in my face on the fridge.
Right. And that really wasn't the purpose. I think the purpose was to remove everything to see how it feels, and then we can slowly add back.
Yes.
So we can do that with anything, even a shelf, a closet. You can remove everything and just start to put things back. But the problem with that is then where do you put that stuff?
Yes.
Where magnets are a good test because they're small, you can put them away easily. So maybe this week add 3 or 5. Just start out small.
Yes.
Yeah. Add them back, your favorites, and see how that feels. And you might even decide, I need a few more.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to just adding maybe 5. Yeah.
Okay, because this is an experiment, so we'll test it with the front of the fridge. And maybe someday, once we get rid of even more stuff in a shelf or a closet, maybe we'll try the same thing. But right now, it would be hard to store.
Yeah.
Say if we did that in your closet.
Right. And you had said also maybe you could get me on a rotating schedule. So maybe I pick 5 that I want for this week. I change them out and I do a different 5 next week. Yeah. So that might be fun to kind of group them in 5s.
And you'll see then which ones you never bring out. Those ones we can get rid of or find another home for.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay. And then the garage we also did. And I checked in with you earlier in the week to see, did you get your garbage out?
I did. Yeah. I took the lounger chair out to the curb, and I also took that very old office chair out to the curb, plus just the whole pile of garbage that we had with the cans.
Wonderful. And I know that you gave me some stuff to take to the thrift store, and I did that. So
good.
That got out as well.
An interesting thing is we had cleared out the garage so that we could have that path for the guy that was coming in to inspect the sump pump. While he was working, I was sitting there on one of the chairs because, we still have random stuff in the garage. There was a chair in there, and I was kind of looking around to see. And yes, we do have lots of space to put things and store things properly once I get rid of some of the junk that is garbage, like the old VHS tapes of The Bachelor and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of dust. It's going to be a dirty project. There's a lot of very old kids' toys that we don't have young children that are in like an oversized plastic thing. There's a lot more that we could remove pretty quickly to give us an abundance of space.
Wonderful. Yeah, they do say, or I have heard, that people's garages are like museums of artifacts from their past. And that is
Yes.
true in your case.
Yeah. There's a couple things in there that I need and keep, but yeah, for the most part, it's stuff I don't need. Like I saw an old tennis racket or a racquetball racket in there, and I don't remember if we talked about this or somebody else was saying that they don't even want them at the thrift stores because they're so heavy compared to the ones that they make now that
Yeah.
like who would even want that unless you're going to use it for some sort of like DIY project, which that is my algorithm for Instagram. I get all the thrift store DIY projects that
Uh-oh.
it's yeah.
Yeah.
I have ideas once I get my house in
Right.
order of things I can create to make it homey, but
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's a good way to repurpose those.
Yes.
But it's also bad because then we tend to accumulate
Yeah, I
too
know.
much
So I'm
stuff.
going to do it
So,
sparingly, but I might even be able to do it with some of the stuff as we're decluttering my house, turn it into something else
yeah.
that I've
And
seen.
I was thinking about your garage too, Jill, because we talked about the kitchen, and there's so many things in the kitchen or even dishes that we only use maybe once a year. And maybe we could eventually have some box in the
Yeah,
garage with things you just use once a year just to get them out of your kitchen.
right, right.
And then it's an easy path. So that's something we
Yeah,
could work on in the future.
yeah.
So moving on.
Okay.
You contacted me this week and you said, "Wendy, I have 3 hours. What should I do?" And I was thinking, wow, Jill's motivated to do something on her
I
own, and
know.
it's so exciting.
I was excited to get to work. I was
Yeah,
excited to get to work.
yeah. Now, before you tell us what you have done, I know you messaged me and you sent me ideas, and I said, "Well, you have to do what feels good and
Right.
you're excited about." I
Yes.
heard this one quote, even just recently, I was listening to a podcast, and a lot of minimalists and decluttering people, they have these different rules, maybe the visibility rule, in out rule, but there was one I hadn't heard before, and it's the brain exploding rule. And it's
Okay.
from K. White, and she said, "If it's going to explode your brain, don't do it."
Yeah.
So I hope you found something that you were excited about and interested. So, Jill, we're excited. What did you decide to do?
Okay. Well, we have talked about trying to get my traditional linen closet, which is very small, usable to store some extra like cleaning products, bathroom things. We talked about that one of the first times you were with me.
Because I
So,
did look in your closet there
yes,
too.
in order to get that organized, we have to shift some of the stuff that's currently cluttering that closet and or get rid of it. But there were things in there that I didn't want to get rid of. So after you had left the first time when I said that I went and cleaned off my desk, I also forgot that I cleaned out the upper part of my office closet where I had kind of been storing clothes. I hung those so that my idea was to put towels in there, which I did.
Okay, good.
But I had big blankets and things in the linen closet still, and I wanted to get them into my bedroom closet up above.
Which makes sense because then you use it in the bedroom. It's
Yeah,
blankets for the bedroom. Okay.
right. And so here's what happened. Well, I knew that up in there was a box of shoes that I haven't touched in years. Okay, so I pull down this box and there's only maybe 3 shoes in it, sets, 3 pairs of shoes. I think it was 3 pairs of sandals that were no good anymore, so I got rid of those. I just threw them away. They weren't worth donating. And there was an old MacBook that I'd like to get photos off of, so I put that with my other computers. I put it where it should belong.
It has a spot.
Yes.
Yay.
And there was an empty box with stuff to go to Goodwill up in there. Now,
So you were storing,
I was storing
tucked in
stuff.
your closet, a
I
box to
forgot.
donate.
Yes. And well, I found a bunch of money from like not to spend, but like from France.
Yes, I still have my francs.
Yes, and I didn't. Yes, before the euro coin or
Yeah,
whatever
so
that
they're
was.
worthless
Yeah,
now.
they're worthless, but I thought, wouldn't this be cool to like turn into something to display once I get. So I did keep those. I kept them in the container they were in. Oh, this was the best part. I found two of my old time favorite lollipops that I used to like always suck on when I wrote. And two of them must have fallen out way in the top of the closet. And so I got to suck on those while I was working.
Okay.
That made me really happy.
Oh, yay. So you're getting joy out of
Yeah.
your whole decluttering experience.
Yes, and there were a bunch of scarves. Now some were like I don't want to say silk scarves, but like the not winter scarves.
Dressy.
Yeah, dress scarves. I did put a bunch of those in boxes not boxes, to be donated because a lot of them I haven't used in years. So why am I keeping them? And there were some winter ones. And I did keep most of those because I made them and I don't crochet anymore. So that was kind of a like, okay, you forgot you had these. Let's hang on to them through next winter and see what I am actually going to use, you know. But I need to find a place for them because then I did put the sheets and the blankets from the hall closet up on top and it looks really nice. But I have to tell you, it was very overwhelming to do by myself. Everything was spread out on the bed. I'm sneezing because it was very dusty. Even though I sprayed everything with like cleaner as I was going, I was trying to be really careful about all that. But I was like sneezing. The dogs are chewing on things. It was a little bit of chaos.
Or a lot of chaos.
Yeah. It was a lot of chaos.
A lot of chaos, yeah.
And I wanted to give up, but I couldn't because there were all my bedroom is, we don't sleep in the master bedroom. We sleep in the medium-sized bedroom. We have 3 bedrooms, a tiny one, a medium-sized, and a master, which is my office. Lloyd has the tiny office. So our bedroom itself, with the queen-size bed, it doesn't have a lot of room. So I have a bag to donate. I have a box to donate. I have a bag to go to the garbage. And I just had to throw all that into my office.
Which we already talked about on another episode, how we started there and then I peeked back in there. You said that is the catch-all room at this point. And you actually need a staging zone when you declutter because you need a place to have boxes, bags, lay things out.
Yeah.
So did you get some sort of wrap up because you put these things in the bags and boxes?
No, the wrap up was throwing them into the office that I'm now tripping on when I try to get dressed. But I do need to, because it was after garbage night. Plus the bag I got it's not filled. I mean, I did throw away stuff, but it's like I can use it for my next decluttering until hopefully Tuesday when I take it out to the trash. But yeah, I need to then go in to really get this stuff and take it to donate. By the time I finished that much, I was a little overwhelmed and ready for a break because it was more than 30 minutes.
Okay. I was going to ask you, how long have you gone? Well, that sounds like you've done a lot in 30 minutes. Well,
yeah,
it was
probably an hour and a half, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because when I declutter on my own, I'm not that organized. I kept rushing out to the kitchen and rushing back. The dogs are chasing me there and back. And I wanted to quit about 5 minutes into it, but I thought I can't quit because first of all, I'd pulled everything out onto
that's the issue.
The bed. And if we didn't sleep in that bed, then I might have quit. And plus I wanted to have a success story. Now it's a work in progress.
It sounds like, first of all, the success story is the fact that you got motivated to do something on your own and really tackle what sounds to me like a bigger project than maybe a small one. Because did you do the whole closet or was this
just the upper top?
But it was.
I mean, there were some of the scarves were on. There's a dresser pushed into the closet. Some of the scarves were on the dresser.
Okay.
And the top of the dresser is still a mess. And I'm going to be fully honest. To get rid of some of the stuff out of the way, I just threw it in random drawers in the dresser where it doesn't belong. Full disclosure.
Full dis-
I thought of you. You're like, I have places where I stuff stuff. And I'm like, oh, I do too. They're not meant for that, but let's just stuff a few
Well,
things
when I
in.
said I have places I stuff stuff, I thought about like the living room when I tidy up when guests come.
Yeah.
I have these doors on a shelf that I can open and tuck books and notebooks that projects I'm working on that way.
I have drawers
that
I just shove things into in the closet.
Okay. So we do have some work. What did you accomplish? What did you feel that you accomplished? And it sounds to me just the idea that you are getting rid of stuff.
Yeah.
Because in a little bit, we're going to talk about more the 1 in, 1 out rule.
Yeah.
And the more you can get rid of, the more progress you're making.
Right.
Because this is what really is helping to even think about organizing.
Mm-hmm.
You first have to let go of a lot of what we call clutter, the stuff that is not serving us anymore.
Yeah.
Because that creates space that we can put things in.
Yes, you can't just shift.
So it sounds like your win is just letting go of how many, if you were to guess randomly, how many things do you think you put
50.
in the 50 things?
At least.
50 things.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Now the thing is just to get them to the donation spot or
right.
trash day.
Yeah. And the other thing that's impressive is without this experiment, I would have quit after sitting on the bed and looking at what I needed to do. I would have been like, yeah, I'm just going to go and do something else.
Yeah. And for me, you've brought up a good point, is because I am the type of person, and I'm well known with my friends and different organizations, that I'm the game person. I like a good game, a good challenge. I have to make things fun, because if it's not fun, I don't want to do it either.
Right.
So I create these little mini games, even if I'm just playing solo.
That's a good idea.
And you actually thought about, well, we're having this whole decluttering experiment, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And look, 50 items possibly.
Yeah.
So even
there's more that could be given. It's just I did shift a couple things in there that I haven't used in years, and I probably could eliminate a few other things as well.
Wonderful. Is there anything else you want to share?
The other best part is that there are 2 full shelves in the linen closet, plus maybe a half shelf
that are empty,
that are ready to reorganize. But the rest of the shelves in there are kind of a mess. The one time I tried to pull something out and I dropped a whole box of light bulbs. Now, everybody knows the light bulbs are very fragile.
Yeah.
I don't know that they survived, but we'll find out.
We'll find out.
When I need to change out that bulb.
But let's chalk this up as a win. 50 items possibly. Yay, Jill. Good job.
Thanks.
And perhaps you just need someone else coming over and helping you finish it off.
Yes. Yes.
Anything else you want to say, or can we move on to the...
We can move on. Yeah, there's lots left to do in the closet, but I figured I also went in with the mindset of that 30 minutes, even though it took longer than 30 minutes. But like I thought if I just do a little bit, I'm tackling it in small sections.
Yay!
Yeah.
All right. And the last thing we wanted to talk about is this idea of the 1 in, 1 out rule.
Okay.
So right now, Jill is in the process of letting go a lot of stuff, which is great, because that's what you have to do to snowball, make progress.
Right.
But I want to bring up this 1 in, 1 out rule right now, because it's something to keep in mind. Because as Jill continues to remove stuff from her house, and listeners, perhaps you're doing the same, we don't want to add stuff back in.
Like all my thrift store DIYs that I'm stalking on Instagram.
Right. Or we can let stuff in, but I want people to keep in mind, and Jill too, and me, I'm going to do this for sure, that when we get something new into our life, we get rid of something similar out. And that really is the 1 in, 1 out rule. So when you bring something in, whether it be buying, someone gifts it to you, anything like that, it's in your house, it's an item, it's not a consumable, it's a thing. We need to get rid of something similar, because then at least we're maintaining that flat line. We're not increasing our stuff. Now, some people do the 1 in, 2 out rule. So if you don't want to start this massive decluttering like Jill is,
Mm-hmm.
If you just start doing the 1 in, 2 out, you're making progress because you're
True.
going in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned this to Jill earlier in the week. Keep in mind what stuff now is coming into your house.
Yeah.
And so I thought that she and I would discuss and give listeners some examples of things that we are thinking about as
Yeah.
we're bringing in and bringing out. So Jill, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Of things I've brought in and out this week?
Yes.
Okay.
Or things you've brought in and maybe something similar you're getting rid of then.
Because I knew we were doing this, I haven't bought much this week.
Yay.
I did get consumable, which is printer ink.
And that's allowed.
Yeah, because my printer needed ink.
Yep.
And on the fridge, when we decluttered all the magnets and I was left with oven mitts that on the bright white fridge, you could tell that they were burned. And the one was like ripped and fraying.
Yes, I saw that.
You had to be very careful when you used that one because it wasn't really effective. So I thought I'm going to replace these. So I did buy oven mitts. They arrived yesterday because I ordered them online. And I have not taken them out of the package yet, but I will be throwing away because they're not worth donating, the ones that are currently hanging on the fridge.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
And that's an easy one because it's when something is broken.
Yeah.
I'll share one I did. I purchased a new butter dish from a thrift store.
Yeah.
But I have been looking because I broke the top of mine. So I just had a bottom butter dish.
Yeah.
And I try to practice the make do concept of making do until I find something I really like to replace it. So I did that and I found actually a butter dish. I thought about ordering one on Amazon, but then I waited. My son works at a thrift shop, so I'm often there. I found one. I like it. I brought it in. So I'm getting rid of the old base. So that's my one example. Now, while I was at the thrift store, I saw a new sweatshirt.
Oh.
And this is before we decided to do this 1 in, 1 out rule. So I thought about it. Now I'm going to have to get rid of a sweatshirt. And over the winter, I did leave my full-time job back in October. I have no current plans to go back to work at the moment, but who knows? Anyways, I found myself wearing a lot of sweatshirts in the wintertime. And maybe I actually needed another one. So when I saw it, I picked it up. So I thought, I don't really want to get rid of a sweatshirt, but I have all these sweaters that I used to wear in an office in a dress. So I thought that's an easy. At some point, I'm going to clear out all my old work clothes. I was keeping my sweaters to see, are they going to fit in my new life? Am I going to wear them to church or whatnot? But I have a lot.
Yeah.
So that's an easy, similar item. A sweatshirt in, a sweater out.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I don't think I brought anything else in. Although you told me about this 1 in, 1 out rule maybe a week ago. I totally forgot about it. You reminded me that we were doing it. And I thought, did I buy anything? But then I thought I hadn't yet. And I had a cart full of stuff in Amazon that I went and I was like, do I really need that? No. And so I put them all at save for later.
Yes.
In case I want them. But yeah.
Yeah. And that makes you think because you really then stop to think, what am I going to let go of if I want this in? And maybe you do want it. Maybe you do need it.
Yeah.
But what can I let go of?
Right.
I have another example because I do some volunteer work and it was Volunteer Appreciation Week. And yay, I got some Girl Scout cookies they gave me, donuts.
Consumables.
A little gift card, which I thought was nice. But
you like to spend your gift cards. We talked
about that. So that gift card went in my wallet.
Not on your buffet.
And it was for a grocery store. So that'll get
even
used.
better.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I also got a stainless steel travel mug.
Oh.
Which those are often, things
those are
people...
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a nice place for them in my cupboard.
Above your refrigerator.
Which I realized is not the best place because I pulled one out to give a friend a drink and I could barely reach the ones in the back. And I'm tall.
Yeah.
And this was on a stool. Yeah. So that might not be the best place for all my travel and water bottles. Right. But you did get rid of that?
Well, no, because I kept it because I'm thinking I'll keep it But, ooh, in the back of my head, what am I going to get rid of?
Yeah.
So the next morning, wouldn't you know,
A mug broke.
you can tell where this is going.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm doing my pour over coffee.
Yeah.
And I have this nice glass, and it's actually a to-go glass container with a coffee insert, and I love it. I don't really use it as a to-go because usually I just make my coffee and then pour it into a mug.
Yeah.
I knocked it over.
Oh.
The glass shattered everywhere. It broke. I was disappointed because I really like it.
Yeah.
But my
Glass
first
mugs
thought
are
was,
nice.
oh, well,
Yeah,
that's
that's
getting
the
thrown
one.
away. That's the one.
That's the one. I love glass water bottles and things like that, but I've had a similar experience where I was putting money in a parking meter and my hands were full, and so I set it on the hood of my car and it slid off and shattered
Yeah.
in the parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I still have the insert for the pour over. I might have to get something to put over the top of a mug. But that was a little bit of a disastrous morning. I don't actually have a lot of crazy mornings.
Yeah.
But then I went and
Come and hang out with me.
I know. I thought you'd appreciate the story. But then I went thinking, all right, well, I haven't made the coffee yet. I had knocked it over before. I got the hot water going. I had already ground my coffee. And I was speaking to someone recently who gave me this tip because I have this old Keurig insert where I can put grounds in. But I told this person, it always overflows. It never, it leaks the grinds. And she told me to pack it down. So I thought, oh, I'm going to try this. It's an experiment. I'm packing it down. I put it in my Keurig. I go to shut the lid. It doesn't close. It's an old, from like, I've
not
been storing
updated
it.
variety.
Yes, the way it is. And I didn't realize it. So there's another item I can get rid of. If I get a new pour over, I can get rid of that. Or, well, I can
You
anyways.
can just get rid of it now.
Yeah.
But then you'll have to get rid of something else when you get your new one.
I know. And that's because some of these things, when they're one in, one out, it breaks, you almost need to, if you only have one of them, you almost need to get a new one. But so those are a couple of my examples.
Yeah.
So that's what I want the listeners to think of too. If you can just do this one in, one out rule, you're at least keeping steady with your clutter.
True. Yeah.
So anything else, Jill, to share at this point?
I don't think so. I mean, it's been a pretty slow week as far as purchasing for me. Only 2 packages arrived. One was the ink and one was the oven mitts. And I even asked Lloyd if he wanted new pot holders, which I told you we put under, like if he heats something up, he puts it under the plate or the bowl. I don't really like his pot holders. They're old. They're in okay. I mean, they're in fine shape. And I said, oh, I want to get these yellow oven mitts. Can I get new yellow pot holders? And he's like, there's nothing wrong with the ones we have.
Oh, good for Lloyd.
And so instead of getting the yellow oven mitts, I got black oven mitts to match them.
And that's something to keep in mind, even with this one in, one out rule. If we're at a store, if we're shopping and we see something, even I was at Goodwill. At that time, we hadn't discussed doing this one in, one out rule for sure. If I see something, I'm just browsing. Do I have something I want to get rid of? So I'm going to keep that in mind. If you're surrounding yourself with your favorite items, it would be hard to buy something new if you have to get rid of something else. But we're not at that point yet.
No, I'm definitely not. If I can hit the top of my closet and get rid of 50 items, yeah.
And you'll be set probably, listeners, next episode, we're going to discuss our new challenges coming out.
Oh boy.
So we're going to share.
We're going to negotiate first.
Yes, we have to negotiate to fit in what works for each of us.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but as another thing, I just want to close with, because Jill did some of her closet and her clothes and her scarves. There is a statistic. Most people wear about 20% of their wardrobe 80% of the time. That's that Pareto principle, which is used for anything time stuff.
Makes sense.
Wardrobe. So the goal is really, so in the same regard, similarly, we get 80% use from 20% of our belongings. So we really want to keep around that 20% that we enjoy and make a decision to never, ever buy anything again that isn't quite what you want, because otherwise it'll just end up in the 80%. If it's not quite what you want, you're probably not going to use it that 80% of the time.
Right. I mean,
Maybe I won't use
that goes
example.
with gifts too. Not
Yeah.
that I'm discouraging people from giving people gifts. It's just maybe really think about giving consumables, and or will this person really use this, or ask them what they need or want.
Yeah. And the fun of giving a gift is when you know they're really going to love it.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother episode, gifts and
Should we
obligatory
give
gifts
them?
and
Should we not
Christmas
give
time
them?
and
Yeah.
birthdays and all. Well, Jill, it's been great talking to you
Yep.
today. And we do want to let our listeners know that they can follow us on Instagram.
That's right. At the Decluttering Experiment. New page. We're just getting started here. So yeah, please follow along.
And you can check out our other episodes on Spotify, Amazon,
whatever your favorite streaming platform is.
So we hope you tune in next time when we continue our decluttering experiment and to see what progress has been made.
If any.